is up, y'all? It is me, Tasha and welcome to another episode of my podcast, which is the Tasha Show. Shout out to my YouTube and podcast fam, hugs and loves, protection, everything, stuff, positive vibes sent your way, and hugs and loves and appreciation also to the people who support me in the future, whether you're listening to my podcast or watching the videos, or even going back to my videos where I'm showing my face, which, like I said, until I get some more new equipment, which includes a new laptop, I will be back on showing my face more. I mean, like I said, I do have a computer in the back with a camera, but since it's in the den, and I'm not always there unless I'm going to be early in the day and during the night. Because since they're all of us, the three of us who live in our house are quarantining, usually people that usually don't be in there do be in there in the den now. So. So anyways, other than that, y'all, it is 5:22 a.m. in the morning. It is April 22nd, 2020, which is also another day, Wild Wednesday, Earth Day, Hump Day, and should be episode of our Kings and Queens Volume 82, and of course, again, y'all will probably, some of us have whack sleeping schedules, so again, I have another day that this has been like this for a couple of weeks where I'm up all night and I wake up, like midday, sometimes 11, 12, 3 or whatever during one time I go to bed, because I don't go to bed till sometimes around 6 or 7 in the morning. So, in the last 2 days, I've been recording during the day or sometimes the evening. So I figure since I'm still up, why not go ahead and just pre-record, well, not technically pre-record, but that way I already have my podcast for the day already set. Now yesterday, which like I said, I didn't almost know till like later in the evening, forgetting that the day that Prince passed away, that it was April the 21st, 2020. They also was on channel 62, which is CBS. I didn't see any more Showtime, so hopefully that they might have it there. But it was like a Grammy celebration that K&I would have had, different artists, like recreating some of the hits. I only seen a little part of it. Boys Day and the time, of course. And I think Foo Fighters, like doing their reaction of the song Darling Nikki, and because already an hour went past by, our brother told us about it. Sorry I'm ranting. Number one, I'm trying to stay up, because also, of course, I'm getting sleepy when I'm trying to do this podcast, but also because of the significance of Prince. Like I said, if y'all listened to yesterday about sitting with my family. So, anyways, y'all, what I wanted to do was I'm going to probably do 2 articles tonight. The Prince one was kind of long enough yesterday, so hopefully y'all enjoyed that because I just dedicated yesterday to Prince. Now today, I found from Revolt TV, again, they have good information, so I had to get off the site. So there's an article, which actually they brought up that actually was, I think, was uploaded or updated to their website around the time, I think, when he passed away. And so, also, I was going to do another article. So what I'm going to do, give me, second, I'm going to go past. Eventually, my hard-headed tail going to have to go through all these tabs, y'all. Do y'all have like a bunch of tabs open on y'all phone? So, anyways, what I wanted to do was go ahead and find, because I just had it up, but I always, skip through that page, whatever, where I have the tabs in my Google. So I already have it set up. Okay, I think I just went past by. Here we go. Now, Revolt, on the .tv platform, they had a link to the Instagram where you can go to this. So let's go here. Revolt, remembering Prince, Pinnacle, Purple Rain. Also to let y'all know, I do mispronounce words. So, he was great before and great after, but it was nothing like this moment. By Revolt staff, or April 22nd, 2016, 9:37 a.m. By Andy Linden. Dig if you will this picture. It's 1984. I'm bartending at the Baby Doll, a strip club in Lower Manhattan, and along with slinging drinks, I have assigned myself to the duty of picking out the 45s for the jukebox. One of those 45s, Prince When the Doves Cry. Despite the fact that the song does not scream out stripper moves, When the Doves Cry goes into heavy rotation as the revolving door amidst these autumns and ambers gyrate to the inconsistent, syndicated grooves. Animals strike curious poses for sure. When Doves Cry wasn't my first taste of Prince. I listened to For You and was a fan of his third album, Dirty Mind, so much that I sent my then boyfriend to, as it turns out successfully, to buy us tickets to his show with the time at NYC's The Ritz. I don't even want to think about how dope that concert must have been. It's not difficult to understand why I fell under a parent's spell. He definitely combined influences and ribbons. Why am I saying ribbon? Ribbon. Okay, you know what? Ribbons. I keep saying ribbons for whatever reason. Says it ribbons. That were in varying degrees nasty, sweaty, smart, finely crafted, gorgeous, chaotic, mimic, hush, sexy, and sweet. He seduced like a late night soul man and bent his strings like a full-out guitar hero. Prince had the brassness of youth. He was no more in his mid-20s when The Doves Cry came out, and the seasoned chops of the some cat that had seen few things. And he was hot. I had taped a photograph of him, bare-chested, repelling in bikini underwear, leopard print, I believe, trench coat, up on my kitchen cabinet door. Every morning when I go to grab a cup up the cupboard, there would be Prince, leering, smiling, making an outfit that on anyone would else be a comical look like it was on the most natural thing in the world, which clearly for Prince it was. When the Doves Cry was the first single from his forthcoming release, Purple Rain, an album that became his undeniable commercial breakthrough and secured his place firmly in the pop pantheon. To this day, despite dozens of albums and multitudes of his hits, my hunch is that when you say Prince, the first association is Purple Rain, if for no other reason than the company failed no more than later introduction of Prince's signature color. To say that I was fiending to hear Purple Rain is an understatement. On the day it was released, I was in the East Village with a boyfriend. He had to go to the doctor, but rather than a supportive girlfriend, I opted to walk over to the sounds of St. Mark's Place and buy a Purple Rain. Considering how the relationship handled, I believe I did the right thing. It is such a cliche to say that I ran home and played a record, but that is pretty much what I did. Upon listening, it grew abundantly clear that Prince, without saying it, that it was his intention, had created something along the lines of a concept album, over-the-top memoir articulated by lyrics such as songs as Darling Naked, English I Would Die For You, The Beautiful Ones, and Triumph, the title track. Purple Rain's autographical nature became all that more evident in the movie of the same name. Although to label Purple Rain's biopic is also to buy into what a backstory that has always had a healthy hint of self-created mythology and double down Prince's quote-quote weirdness. Which, of course, is a perception that he himself helped cultivate. Naturally, I saw Purple Rain shortly after it hit the theaters, and it continues to blow me away. Is the story hackneyed or borderline cliche? Of course. How many troubled artists working out their daddy issue list can one person see? But damn if Purple Rain doesn't breathe life into every damn one of those tired plot lines. And it goes without saying that the musical performers are memorizing and the best band that Prince ever had, namely The Revolution. The Revolution included the divine Wendy and Lisa, who highly acclaimed post-Prince albums, added senses to the rumors that they may played a bigger role in shaping that period of Prince's music than Prince or his star-making machinery might have led one to believe. Which is not to even suggest that Prince didn't write every and all those songs, but Wendy and Lisa are certainly part of the equation. That much is borne out by Prince in the guise of his cinematic alter ego The Kid, acknowledging contribution of the fictional Wendy and Lisa. Whether or not Prince ever did so in real life is unknown. Prince kept expanding his sound and reference points, which grew to include politics. title track for the double album Sign of Time speaks on the growing AIDS epidemic. The cover of the controversy shows him in front of the fake newspaper headlines and includes the title track Ronnie, as in their President Reagan. Talk to Russia. It bears mentioning that as recently as last year, Prince performed at benefit concert in Baltimore in support of Freddie Gray, the young black man allegedly killed by okay, I'm gonna keep that myself. By police, but yet, theoretically, the constant is always sex. Sex as pleasure, as a redemption, as a religious, as an act of love. In fact, up until his conversion, found by the Sly and the Family Stone bassist Larry Graham. In the early aughts, Prince was still letting his black and white Puerto Rican everybody just a freaking flag fly. It speaks volumes as to how much Prince equals sex that when later in his career he demurred from singing songs such as Dark Mickey's, who related to masturbation. Singing Haley helped bring about the advent of the parental advisory sticker. Many fans felt cheated, as if Prince couldn't be possibly Prince unless he was going on about getting head. They were sort of right. It was a drag that he had stepped away from that muse, but his catalog and subject matter was so deep and complex that he never missed a beat up until his death was, by all accounts, putting on live shows that defied all expectation time constraints. I saw Prince before several times. The first was during the Diamonds and Pearls tour in the mid-90s. The last show lasted about 2 hours, which by Prince standards qualifies as a snippet. A few years later, I attended the invite-only show at Roseland, hosted by Crit Rock. Specific particulars elude me, but what I can tell you is that at some point I was struck by his guitar playing. Yes, I was already aware of proficiency, but never had been close enough to the stage to actually see what his hands were doing and the effortless ease with which he played. The swirl of his hips, the way his hands gripped the fret so lively but surely, and then the cocky grin, almost a smirk as the notes hit the air. The way Prince played the guitar was as sexy, if not more so, than anything he sang about. I used to think that as great as a guitarist as Jimi Hendrix was, that he would have been almost just as great if he had only sang. With Prince, it was the reverse. If he never opened his mouth, penned a lyric, Prince easily could have made his bones simply just as an axeman. Look at the video 2004 induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Without even coming close to the mic, he lets loose of George Harrison's "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and Bo's bandmates John Petty, Jeff Lynne, and Steve Winwood off the stage. Not to mention Prince rocks a red Fedora that gives you all kinds of Mac Daddy. In 1996, I was in Minneapolis as a part of the press junket to promote Prince's 3-CD Emancipation, and the record label organized an ad hoc press conference, mainly for the benefit of journalists that had been flown from Europe. Us lowly American writers were clearly an afterthought. The night before, Prince had played at Parsley Park. The show, which came in just under an hour, remarkably for brief and orders for marathon sets, was hampered by a crappy sound and unspoken personal issues that we would later find out was the health of Prince's late son with then wife Marley Garcia. The idea of seeing Prince on his home turf was exciting, and so it was disappointing that the performance had been less than expected. Luckily, having the opportunity to be in the same room with him took away something of the sting. Nothing of any great importance was discussed. In its defense, of most of the questions posed by the foreigner press were inspired by infawning at best, but I was memorized by what Prince sounded like. His speaking voice was soft but friendly, his intonations as crystal clear as one of those 10,000 lakes of his native Minnesota. He didn't sound cool, weird, or creative. He just sounded basic, regular, like mow the lawn, take the kids to school, make sure you get your dental check regular, and it struck me that underneath it all, or maybe right there on the surface, Prince was not some freakishly talented hypersexualized alien. He was a freakishly talented hypersexualized alien next door who just happened to change the mother-loving world. I'll be lying when I told you I was checking for the 2015 print and the LP. I don't know what it is. LP the way I did for Purple Rain, which is not the cast aspersions on the former CD. It's good, but these days waiting for the next fill-in the Blanks album wasn't what it used to be. Maybe years in the biz has made me a bit jaded. Maybe I'm tired, or maybe I'm old. Hell, maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. But then again, neither was Prince, which is why he kept making such a glorious funky noise. Because we know, he had to, right, that the next album could be the one that made you ditch your boyfriend at the doctor and head over to Record Shop or Amazon's or iTunes and put that album on heavy rotation. And it was the music journalist living in New York City. That was an interesting perspective. Well, let me see what time it is. It's already 16. You know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought I was going to do 2 albums, but I'm just going to save it for more because I actually thought I was like, yeah, I could do a little longer, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it a night. That tiredness is starting to hit me, and I don't want to be reading and knock this out and go to sleep, but it was me. That's my calling. It's already been 15 minutes wide. I hope you join Life from Person's Perspective. I will just say this also, too. My older sister, I call my Smurfette Trina. Now, I don't know if it's the same concert or not. I need to ask her, hoping to remind myself to ask her. She actually seen concert. I don't think she was like close up, whatever, but she has seen both guys, also Rich James, and she has seen Prince in concert. Lucky Smurfette. But she has seen them both in concert. Like I said, I don't know what to say. She's not, but she's the only one. I don't know if my other siblings have seen Prince, or Rick James, but I do know my Smurfette sister Trina, I'll call her that because she's the shortest out of all of us. Has seen Prince and even both Rick James in concert. So, other than that, because the only people I've seen in concert, okay, I list. My first concert, I think, was going to Janet Jackson when it was like them songs, If I Was the Girl, around that time. Of course, we were on the line. It wasn't like we were close up. I went twice to see with Immature, the band, with Marcus Houston, Little Drummer Boy, and Romeo were there, and that was it. Then I went, they also had that free, they used to have the free concerts, and I seen for this, it was a couple like local artists, local Detroit artists, and when Usher was just starting out when his first album came out, I remember, because other concert, I'm just remembering, and so I guess that counts as a concert too. Another concert I guess you said I can remember, which was several years later, not several years later, but another concert was. I had seen a concert, I think Zap Mama, but I think I could have sworn it was Zap Mama was there. That was early 2000s. And it was Jill Scott, Macy Gray, and Erykah Badu. Of course, still way yonder. But also, too, it wasn't too darn near about 14 years before I went to another concert again. And the last concert I went to, which again, it was Rakim. I don't think Eric B was there with him. I think Rakim, the guy, was performing. I mean, he is still a DJ, but I was like, I don't think that's Eric B was over the stage with him. So we had Miss MPMD, I forgot the other dudes there. How could I not forget? But Rum DMC. And we just had to leave when my Adidas came on, but we had to leave. But anyways, that's that. But sorry y'all, we're just rambling. But anyway, hugs and loves. God bless. Take care. Positive vibes. And I will see y'all tomorrow for another episode of Kings and Queens Next Door. I might, as soon as the proper hits, and then I wait at least a little early or whatever. I may pre-record because I rather prefer doing that Sorry about that notification click. But anyway, y'all, sorry I'm ranting, but I'm tired as can be. So hugs and loves, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.